Ultimately, you want a lawyer to describe you, your life, and your injuries to a jury. And I just don't know how you can do that if you don't know the person.
What should I do after an accident in Corpus Christi, Texas? We're going to talk to personal injury attorney David Burkett about that on today's Ask the Lawyers. David, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Molly. Very simply, a lot of folks make the mistake of not calling the police right away. They assume that somehow an exchange of information is adequate. You always need a police report. However, before you even ask for the police to come out, inspect yourself medically. Make sure every part of your body works. There's an awful lot of adrenaline that flows through your system, and you really don't know for a few seconds. A lot of times, an airbag will have deployed, and the car is smoky. Give yourself a minute or two to evaluate your body. If any part of your body does not feel quite right, and with the adrenaline, you will just simply feel different or odd, or if a limb or a finger or a toe, any part of your body just doesn't feel quite natural, that's your brain telling you something's wrong. Call 911, try to get some emergency help. If you're able to get out of your car and ambulate, certainly try to take photos, evaluate the scene. Frequently, there are passersby that stop to render aid, and it's not intuitive to ask them what their names are or get their information. But if you or a passenger has the wherewithal, try to get all the witnesses' information. Sometimes witnesses will speak to the police department and not leave their entire name. So try to get the witnesses' information, certainly get the defendant's information, and document, document, document. And then after that, zip your lips. No Facebook, no running at the mouth, no anger is ever appropriate. All of that can be used against you. Take care of your body. When your body is stabilized, call an attorney.
So obviously, gathering as much evidence is key in one of these cases. Can you talk a little bit about the time frame or deadline for filing a personal injury claim in Texas?
You actually have quite a bit of time in Texas. You've got 2 years. But if you have substantial injuries, that time can get away from you pretty quick. And what's more important in time is evidence gets away from you a lot quicker than the statutory deadline of 2 years. A lot of folks that live in Texas travel to Louisiana, and you got to remember that Louisiana has a 1 year statute. It's always important to try to take care of your legal affairs in the first 6 months. Very few injuries will last, or the medical treatment will last longer than 6 months. The legal deadlines are 2 years or 1 year in Louisiana, but you need to act a lot quicker.
So, David, in your experience, what are some things that somebody should consider when they're trying to find the right personal injury lawyer?
Well, in this day and age of advertising, as you know, everyone's on TV at the 6 o'clock news telling you they're the person, they're the firm, they're the guy. Some of those people are talented. Some of those people have the right tools to handle your case. But the vast majority of them are super firms, or I call them law marts, like a Walmart might be. They hire young, inexperienced attorneys, and your case gets handled from one to another, and it's a revolving door. I say look for somebody with expertise, look for someone local, and most importantly, somebody that you can speak to. And that's personally, not assistants, not forms, not the computer. Ultimately, you want a lawyer to describe you, your life, and your injuries to a jury. And I just don't know how you can do that if you don't know the person. I try to get to know folks. I try to make it myself available, and other law firms do that. An easy way to look for expertise is board certification. I've got 2 board certifications. Many other attorneys do also. But a lot of your advertisers are trying to get in thousands of cases to pick that one that they'll splash on a billboard with one big number. Everyone can hit a home run, but at times at bat, you want your lawyer to represent you as a person, your injuries individually, and not make you some kind of broken record.
David, could you elaborate on the most common types of personal injury cases that you handle?
Certainly. I do my share of auto accidents. I handle trucking accidents. I handle industrial accidents and marine accidents. Many cases involve just the basic accident, but some include products liability aspects, etc. Almost any serious injury or property damage case I've handled. I've been doing this well over 40 years.
All right, let's talk insurance companies because obviously they're a big part of personal injury cases. How do you handle interactions with them, and what is the role of insurance companies in personal injury claims?
Well, an insurance company is simply a corporation that makes its money by insuring the risks of its policyholders. As a company, it answers to its stockholders. And the only answer stockholders need to hear or want to hear is, are we profitable? So an insurance company is designed to mechanically produce profits. Even though they hire some good people, some warm people, those folks' hands are tired by the profit motive. So, an insurance company, right off the bat, is designed to reduce or deny your claim and your injuries. They've gotten very, very good at it over the years. And in my experience, I reach right out and suspend immediately any communication that they have with my client so that they know they have to go through me at a time when my client should be paying attention to their injuries and not communication with an insurance company. Thereafter, the insurance company kind of is a gatherer of information, of medical information, liability information. And then if you're experienced like we are and like most insurance adjusters are, we can cover the pros and cons of any given case and the damages to any client in that case. If I do not resolve a case with an insurance company, we don't hesitate to recommend that our client, who is our boss, file a lawsuit to try to ask a jury or a judge, and usually a jury, to analyze their case and analyze their damages.
And speaking of damages, what are the different types of compensation or damages that somebody can seek in a personal injury claim?
Well, first, you're going to notice your property damage, then your medical bills, then your physical pain, your mental anguish, your disfigurement, if any. Some people have scarring. Impairment to your bodily functions is another damage. Wage loss and future wage loss are the most common injuries and damages.
And finally, an important question I'm sure that people watching are wondering, why and is it worth it to seek out an attorney for representation, even if they take a little chunk at the end? Is it worth it to find a good attorney?
Great question. It's almost always worth it to hire an experienced attorney. Insurance companies, like I say, are profit producing entities that are designed to try to lowball you going in. They try to get you to resolve your case before you know the full nature and extent of your injuries. An experienced attorney will help weave you through the maze of medical care, the maze of insurance adjuster negotiations, and certainly at the end, try to present a much better damage picture for you than you would yourself. It is a rare, rare, rare circumstance that an attorney or hiring an attorney won't produce, even after fees, much more money than you would on your own.
Absolutely worth it. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Certainly.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyers. My guest has been attorney David Burkett from Corpus Christi, Texas. If you'd like to ask him about your situation, call the number on the screen. Thanks for watching. I'm Molly Hendrickson for Ask the Lawyers.